You're listening to Broke Man Radio Worldwide, home of the champions, where you could be broke and still be classy. Now,
so they finally find somebody to hold responsible for the Tupac murder that happened back in '96. And let me just rewind the clock back into 1996, where Tupac was at the peak. I had a club back then. I used to wound and crazy. But I had a club back then, and all his songs were just pumping through all the speakers. Tupac had people wearing shirts. Everybody really just thought his music and his poetry basically was really just it. He was at the height of his career and got gunned down. Senseless murder in the streets of Las Vegas, where Suge Knight, who is dirty as a sock you pulled off after wearing it for 10 days, was sitting in the driver's seat, which I think it kind of be odd that he lived and Tupac, the legend, died. But after 27 years, they brought a man in and made an arrest. And this is a guy that has for years been going on talk shows, been writing books and doing all these things, telling the story. I mean, he's pretty much sealed his own fate with just a story. Could not keep his mouth shut after all these years. It seems like street justice got the other three, but the one guy is being brought up on charges, and I'm like, 27 years later, this man is 60 years old now. But he will have to answer a lot of questions that a lot of people wanted answered for many, many, many years. So we'll see how that plays out. But in the fall time, here come the Braves, here comes Major League Baseball at its best right now. So if you're not a baseball fan, still, you got to kind of watch some of these games, because if you lose these series, you're out. And the Braves, man, I hope the Braves win it all. My goodness. Let's go Braves. So, and college football is so exciting right now. The Bulldogs of Georgia is number one. They've won the last two national championships. And let me just say that I was a Bulldog fan as a little kid, watching Herschel Walker win that first national championship. And he's always going to be a legend. And when he was going for Congress, or the Senate, should I say, I kept everything that had to do with that, because that man, if you're a Bulldog fan, was a big-time hero. If you were a college fan, he was a hero. But we'll just have to see how all that plays out. Now, in life, I'll tell you, there's a lot of times when you got to admit you're wrong. And that's a hard thing to do, to tell somebody, man, I was wrong. Today shock somebody, and that don't expect it. And if you know you're wrong, just go ahead and say you're wrong. Look, man, I was wrong about what I said about you, or I was wrong about what I did, and I apologize. There is nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, it will shock the person, whoever it is, that you feel as though deep in your heart that you owe an apology to. So let's keep it 100% here on Broke Man Radio, and let's make ourselves better by the day. Now, trick-or-treating, you gotta, I don't know how they came up with this. I mean, and the way that, what's that comedian's name? Jim Gaffigan puts Christmas. He's almost like a drunk person, started the traditions of Christmas. You wake up and there is a tree in the front living room, and there's socks hanging over the fireplace. Okay, that just sounds like somebody was going through a tough time when they come up with the traditions for Christmas. But Christmas time will be here before you know it. So, bro, folks, red alert. Red alert. It is time to start saving your money and start putting it away for the kids, the children. If you got grandkids, the grandchildren, or your wife, your wife, go ahead and try not to get her something for Christmas and find out what happens then. It'll be a long year for you. So start putting your money away so you can go down to Walmart and get her something nice for Christmas. And here at Broke Man Radio, sometimes we make our own selves laugh. And yes, when I say us, I'm actually referring to me. But been doing a lot of work lately with my old partner in crime, Jay, and we're about to start coming out with some Broke Man Radio wrestling, celebrity wrestling this time, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We're about to, and see, 2020, when they had the pandemic, a lot of our shows stopped, a lot of stuff that we were doing stopped, and we had to do a lot of things from home. Well, I moved out to this wonderful, wonderful studio out in the middle of nowhere, and the technology that I need isn't available like it would have been if you're in the city. So being out in the country, you really got to be creative. So we hope to get this thing up and running like it was many years ago. Broke Man Radio has been going since 2018. But I've been doing Bert Simmons' show and different things probably for the last, 20 years. So when you see the wonderful skits by Bert Simmons and his brother Bobby, that's been going on for a long time. And classics that never were classics. There's a lot of songs that we did back in the old Broke Man Radio days from 2003, 2002. You would get a kick out of that. Just look some of that old stuff up and you would be like, what is this? But I love you guys so much. Thank you for being supportive of Broke Man Radio. And let me just keep on telling you, always keep looking up and don't let nobody hold you down. Make that apology today. If you owe somebody an apology, hey, you know what? Be the bigger man. Be the bigger woman. Hey, love you. Much love.